I want to tell you the ending first. Not because I'm brave, because if I don't say it now, I'll talk myself out of it by the time I get there. He's still knocking, right now, as I record this. 3 weeks ago, I got him back. I want to be honest about what kind of person that makes me. Not a good one, not a strong one, just a woman at 2 a.m., 11 days after a breakup, doing the thing every horror story warns you never to do. I searched for a way to undo it. His name was Caleb. We were together for 2 years. It ended the way these things end when nobody's cruel slowly. Then all at once, over a version of a fight neither of us actually remembers starting. I told myself I was fine. I wasn't fine. I was the kind of not fine where you reread old messages until the screen goes blurry, where you drive past his apartment for no reason you'd admit out loud. My grandmother grew up in the hills of eastern Kentucky, and she knew things, old mountain remedies, old mountain warnings, the kind of folk practice that gets passed down as recipes and superstitions until nobody remembers they were ever meant seriously. She never called them spells. She called them workings, and she told me more than once that grief makes people reckless with things they don't understand. You don't call somebody back, she used to say. You just open the door and hope the right thing walks through first. I didn't understand that sentence until it was too late to matter. I found the ritual in an old cedar box of hers, in a notebook with her handwriting gone soft at the edges from handling. A photograph, his name written 7 times. A length of red thread, tied at moonrise, untied at dawn, over 3 nights on my own front porch. I did it anyway. He called me on the 4th day. He said he'd been thinking about me nonstop, that he didn't understand why, that it felt like waking up from something. He said it like a confession. He said it like relief. And God help me, it felt incredible. For 2 weeks, it was the relationship I'd grieved not having. He remembered things I'd forgotten I'd told him. He showed up when I was sad before I'd said a word. He'd finish my sentences, not in the annoying way, in the way that felt like being known. I told my best friend it felt like magic. I didn't mean it as a joke. I just didn't think about what I meant. There was one thing small enough that I let it go. Sometimes, mid-sentence, he'd stop. Just stop, mouth still open, eyes somewhere past me. Then he'd blink and pick the sentence back up exactly where he left it, like a video buffering. I told myself it was stress. He died on a Tuesday. A truck ran a red light on his way to my apartment. The police said it was fast. They say that to be kind. I don't think it means anything. I don't remember the funeral. I remember standing at my own front door for an hour afterward because I couldn't make myself go inside, because 2 weeks earlier I tied a thread on that same porch and asked something to bring him back to me, and now I had to walk through it having lost him twice. I slept for 16 hours. When I woke up, my phone had a message from him. I'm outside. I want you to understand. I knew it was wrong. I knew, standing at that door with my hand on the latch, that a message from a dead man's phone is not a miracle. It's a crime scene. It's a prank. It's anything except what I wanted it to be. I opened the door anyway. He looked exactly like Caleb, dressed like him, smelled like him, that specific cedar and rain smell I used to bury my face in. He smiled the way Caleb smiled, that one-sided thing where only the left corner moved first. He said, I came back for you. And here is the thing I need you to sit with, because I sat with it for 3 days before I let myself feel afraid. That sentence is not something Caleb would have said. Caleb was awkward. Caleb would have made a joke to cover how much he meant it. This said it plainly, warmly, like reciting something it had been told to say. But I let him in, because he had Caleb's hands, Caleb's laugh, and grief makes you so willing to stop asking questions the moment the answer might be yes. The first 2 nights were the best nights of my life. I'm not proud of that. I'm telling you anyway because it matters for what comes next. It matters that I wanted to keep not noticing. The knocking started on the third night, not at the door, at the bathroom mirror. Soft at first. I told myself it was the pipes. Caleb, the thing that looked like Caleb, was asleep beside me, or doing whatever it did that resembled sleep, eyes moving under closed lids too fast, too evenly like a metronome. The knocking got louder each night, always from inside the mirror, never anywhere else in the apartment. On the fifth night, I got up to check it, and the surface was fogged, like breath on glass, in a bathroom with no shower running. Written in the fog, in handwriting that wasn't mine, "Don't wake her." I called my grandmother's sister, the only one left who still remembered the old workings properly, and read her the words. She went quiet on the phone for a long time before she asked me, carefully, like she already suspected the answer, whose handwriting that was. I didn't have one. I went back to the notebook, read past the ritual itself into the pages after it, the pages I'd skipped the first time because I was in too much of a hurry to bring him back to read the warnings. My grandmother had written about a working gone wrong back in her own holler, decades before I was born. A woman who'd done the same thread ritual for a husband lost to fever. The husband came back. For a while, the neighbors said he was perfect, attentive in a way he'd never been in life. Then the knocking started. Then the handwriting. Then, one morning, the wife was simply gone, and the husband stood in the doorway of an empty house, smiling with the wrong side of his mouth first, waiting for whoever answered next. My grandmother's note in the margin, in ink darker than the rest, like she'd pressed harder writing it. The thread does not call the dead. It calls whatever is close enough to answer, and shapes them like the dead only long enough to be let inside. I understood then what the pauses were, the mid-sentence stops, the metronomize. It wasn't Caleb remembering how to be a person again. It was something learning how to keep being him, rehearsing, getting better at it every day the way an actor tightens a performance over a run, and I was the only audience, which meant I was the only thing left it needed to convince. The knocking wasn't a threat. It was impatience. Something on the other side of that thread, waiting its turn, annoyed that the version of itself already through the door was taking so long to finish the job. Don't wake her. Not a warning to me, an instruction to him, to it, to not let me figure it out before it was done needing to look like the man I loved. I'm recording this in my car. I left the apartment 40 minutes ago. It hasn't followed. Not yet. It doesn't need to hurry. That's the part that frightens me most. It has never once hurried. I looked at the mirror one last time before I left. For half a second, under the fog, under the handwriting, I saw its actual face reflected where Caleb's should have been. It wasn't hideous. That's not the horror of it. It looked pleased. The way you look when a performance is finally paying off. And underneath that, for just a flicker, it looked bored. Like it had done this before. Like it would do it again. Like I was simply the door it happened to walk through this time, wearing the shape I'd been careless enough to ask for. I can hear it now, outside the car. I don't think it's angry that I know. I think it's just ready to stop pretending. If you're hearing this after tonight, it means I stopped talking before I meant to. Don't go looking for the thread working. I already checked. It's real.